Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Heavenly Parent Holy Community Oceania Hundokke, together with Rev Yutaka Yamada. Today is Wednesday, the 8th of January 2025, or the 9th of December in the 12th year of Chongyalguk. So thank you all for coming, and let's begin with a bow to our true parents of heaven, earth, and humankind, Chanjin Champunim Kyombe, Paro. And let's recite our family pledge, both in Korean and English.
가전맨세 3. 전국 주인, 우리 가족은 참 사랑을 중심하고 4대 심정권과 3대 왕권과 판조권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Family pledge number 3. Our family, the owner of Chongyalguk, pledges to perfect the 4 great realms of heart, the 3 great kingships, and the realm of the royal family by centering on true love. Yeah, I'd like to ask Peter Holdham if he could offer the opening prayer, please.
Dear Heavenly Parent, beloved true parents of heaven, earth, and humankind, thank you for this new day where we could join together to join in with the Hundokke. We're very grateful, Father, for this opportunity to connect our lives with our Heavenly Parent and to learn more about the providential matters that are coming forward. We're very grateful, Father, for the opportunity. Pray that our hearts can be really connected to our true parents. We pray for all the events coming up to the opening of the Chonel Sanctum. Pray that our attendance can really be understood and appreciated, that we are really working to bring about the establishment of Chongyalguk and the ideal peaceful world centering on Heavenly Parent and true parents. We're very grateful for our true mother. Pray that we can really attend her and really support all the activities that we need to and accomplish all the responsibilities that each family has. I pray, please be with us this morning as we share together. Pray and report in my own name, Peter Oldham, the Central Family Member, Arju.
Let's give a warm welcome to Rev Yutaka as he shares this morning.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. Thank you for joining today's morning Hundokke. How's your life in this year and this January? There are many news or issues in the world level, but how we can totally unite with Mother and welcome entrance ceremony of Chonangun and Chonyu Sanctum. This is also our important part. Let's put our heart and do our best. Now our true mother is in America and also spending time together with leaders and young people. Always let's pray for our true mother. True mother gave the special message in the beginning of this year. Mother said, all blessed family is the chosen people. So please fulfill the responsibility and gain the victory. We are chosen by heaven and we are working together and doing this kind of the special mission and role with true parents on this earth. So we need to have this kind of ownership or this kind of heart to take responsibility as heavenly parents, sons and daughters. Yesterday there was the leaders meeting together with President Son Yeon-cheon. So in Korea, they are really preparing for all event centering on April. So later, if I could get all information, then maybe I could share. But some part yesterday, the international headquarters leader also shared the program of Cheonwon-gun in April, the visitation to Korea. So there are many kind of event. One of the main event is the entrance ceremony in Cheonwon-gun. So that place, a limited place, but they said, especially the Breast family or Chombo family from international, they will prepare a special seat. And Korean Breast family, they don't join the entrance ceremony in Cheonwon-gun. They will join in World Stadium, right? World Center. But international Breast family or Chombo family, they will prepare some seat in the Cheonwon-gun. That's why I think they are really concerned and they try to welcome our international side well. And they will open the exhibition or museum or some epochs of Korean history, Korean chosen people history. So they will open those things to member in Cheonwon-gun. This is also, they will give the first priority to the international guest. So then Korean guests will be given later. Maybe many of our brothers and sisters didn't go to Korea a long time, and we don't know when you will go again. That's why please also pray well, and if possible, try to visit this time. This time is the good opportunity. So pray well, and among the prayer, if you can decide, and that is good. So Mother also said, we are the chosen people. Let's have this kind of heart and fulfill our role and mission. So thank you. I will continuously update if there is new things. Now myself and Reverend John and the missionary are in Melbourne, and we are organizing second generation workshop. So now young people or youth, university student or high school student, they are also joining and doing the workshop. They are really strong spirit, and that's good. And one of the special things, this time one new guest, which missionary witness are joining together. So for this 7 days time period, he is learning God's word and joining the workshop, and he could have the heart, the heavenly culture. And of course, second generation is joining well. So please support and also pray well. Okay. So anyway, thank you for joining today's morning on the K. Let's do our best. Today our message is from Chon Sung-gyeon, the dual structure of human beings. Let's share together. Mrs. Lam, please.
Section 2, the dual structure of human beings. Human beings were created with a dual structure. This dual structure consists of spirit and flesh, mind and body. When do they become one? You cannot fully unite the two as one merely by cultivating your mind and offering prayers. No matter how spiritually awakened you become, the body has 5 major senses. The mind, including the spirit, and the conscience also has 5 senses. There is only one power that can bring the cells of these 5 external physical senses and 5 internal spiritual senses into oneness so that they resonate completely and are filled to the point of exploding. That is God's love, which is the common denominator of everything in the universe. Without that love, unity between the mind and body is impossible.
Yes, thank you. I believe you already heard many times the importance of unity between mind and body. Unity, the spiritual body and physical body is also a same meaning. And many our religious person try to fulfill the unity between mind and body. But what is the secret? How can we fulfill the unity between mind and body? Father is giving clear guidance in this part. So I will read this. There is only one power that can bring the cells of these five external physical senses and five internal spiritual senses into oneness so that they resonate completely and are filled to the point of exploding. That is God's love, which is the common denominator of everything in the universe. Without that love, unity between the mind and body is impossible. So Father is clearly mentioning what is the secret. That is the God's love. So that's it. But without this, it is impossible. So really this guidance is clear. Even we effort or a person try to fulfill these things, but there is no connection with God. There is no connection with God's love. Then it cannot be fulfilled. This is actually serious word, but oppositely, if we can realize, if we can experience the God's love, then mind and body's unity will be happening. So we are already learning those secrets from our true parents. That's why kind of this is a goal and this is a method. Goal and method is clear. Then it's also possible for us to fulfill these things. Prepare, effort, invest. We can do effort. We can prepare. We can invest. So this itself is already big blessing for us. So gaining God's love or experiencing God's love. This is the secret to fulfill the unity between our spiritual body and physical body. Please.
In the relationship between our spirit and body, the spirit is the more important. The physical body continues for about 100 years and then it dies, but the spirit lives eternally, transcending time and space. Regardless of how well people dress and how luxurious they live on earth, in the end, everyone dies. Accordingly, before passing into the spirit world, we need to successfully harmonize the spiritual and physical standards and achieve through our lifestyle a perfect union of the spirit and the flesh. That is, during our life in the limited earthly world, we have the responsibility to perfect our spirit within our body.
Yes, thank you. So Father is also mentioning that the spiritual body is more important than physical body, and we have to complete the things. Even we have any kind of life, but if that is not connected with the growth of spiritual body, then somehow it does not mean so much in our eternal life. Please.
Each of us has a spiritual self and a physical self. In the Unification Church, we refer to these as the spirit and the body. Originally, the spirit and the body are supposed to become one. Ultimately, they have to become one, and At what place do they become one? At a place of resonance. This is like the vibration of a tuning fork. When you strike one prong, it produces a tone that resonates perfectly with the other, like a tuning fork. Our spirit and body also achieve unity through resonance.
Yes, thank you. How to fulfill the unity between spiritual body and physical body, the dissonance. So in the Chonshimon prayer, now also Mother or Reverend Lee Gison also emphasizing about dissonance prayer. So spiritual body and physical body should be doing the dissonance and also connecting with God. This is the way to fulfill the unity. Please.
When do the spirit self and the physical body become one? This is the question. When God's love comes into our heart, our body automatically and actively reacts. It is not God's wisdom, ability, or power, but only His love that can bring us into a realm where our body and mind resonate in complete unity. What is the one focus, the ideal standard, desired by your 5 physical sensory organs, such as your eyes and nose, as well as by your 5 spiritual sensory organs? It is neither God's power nor His wisdom. It is His love, the center and the standard point of everything.
Yes. So how and when it will be fulfilled. This is also same concept. When God's love comes into our heart, our body automatically and actively reacts. So that is also God's love. When God's love is reaching you, reaching your heart, reaching your body, then it will be fulfilled. Please.
When our spiritual and physical selves harmonize and resonate with each other in God's love, the spiritual cells and physical cells interact perfectly. When we open our eyes and they are working perfectly, we can see everything throughout heaven and earth for the first time. When we use a high efficient microphone, our voice will ring out fully everywhere. Similarly, once our physical and spiritual selves become one and attain an explosive state through the power of love, that complete union emits a light on the same wavelength as the heavenly world, the earthly world, and even God Himself.
Yes. This is also new contents. I will read the first sentence. Father said, when our spiritual body and physical selves harmonize and resonate with each other in God's love, the spiritual cells and physical cells interact perfectly. So I check also in the original word. Original word, there was one more additional words. And a little bit, I think, different expression. Spiritual cells and the physical cells interact perfectly. So it will be, English word is here like this, but in the original word, additionally, there's word kind of the for the first time. So if resonate with God's love, then what's happened? Spiritual cell and physical cell, especially spiritual body will be the start to moving or opening for the first time. So when God love is coming, first time, the spiritual body will be opening or starting kind of the switch on. So that's why connection with God's love. This is kind of the switch to wake spiritual body up. So connection with God's love. This is the key word to move for the spiritual body. Please.
All created beings in this world exist in pairs, based on the ideal of reciprocity. That is why the number 2 is so necessary, from the smallest being to the greatest. In human beings, an individual's mind and body must become one. Then husband and wife have to become one. And then the spirit world and the physical world have to become one. From the beginning, these entities were meant to be united.
Yes, everything is existing in pair system. Yeah, that is also true. Yes.
Between the body and the spirit, the more important is the spirit. Our flesh lives for 100 years within the limited realm of time and space before disappearing into nothing. But our spiritual body has the power to transcend both time and space. Accordingly, our essential purpose is to recognize our historic responsibility and fulfill it. Regardless of how well you may live physically, in the end you will die. Then, which is more important, spiritual standards or physical standards? We do not live based on physical standards. The flesh exists for the spirit and not vice versa. You should not cling to this lifestyle that secular people follow. You should find a more worthwhile basis for existence, with your physical body and spiritual body united substantially. This will serve to strengthen your physical body also.
Yes, which is more important, a physical body and spiritual body. And also Father is asking, which is more important, spiritual standards or physical standards? What do you think? The spiritual standards is important. What is our purpose of life? And what for do we live on this earth? And what kind of standard do we have during our lifetime on this earth? We should not forget this is standard or target. Please.
From God's viewpoint, is there any difference between a young person, a middle-aged person, and an elderly person? God looks only at the spirit self. He can see if a spirit self is young and active and has a self-disciplined character. He does not see the outer shell. He sees what will be left from inside after the outer shell has been cast off.
Yes, I will read this part again. From God's viewpoint, is there any differences between a young person, a middle-aged person, and an elderly person? God looks only at the spirit self. He can see if a spirit self is young and active and has a self-disciplined character. He does not see the outer shell. He sees what will be left from inside after the outer shell has been cast off. So this also an important message. The outer shell's age or physical body's age actually doesn't important so much. God will see the age of spiritual body or growth of your spiritual body. So how old are you? This is important question. Not the physical body's age. How about your spiritual body is matured? Did you already, your spiritual body is maturing well or still baby situation? I think someone said kind of the growing baby. You know growing baby? Physically, already maybe 30 years old, 40 years old, but mind is still baby. I'm not sure. Someone also told like this. So when we see our society or people, looks like that person are so old, but the character, thinking way, behavior is immature. So we have to see our spiritual body or spiritual development. You are already spending time on this earth more than 50 years, 60 years, 70 years, then your spiritual body should be growing well. That's why God is not seeing your outer form. God is seeing your spiritual body. So young, middle-aged, elder person doesn't matter how we can develop our spiritual body. Yes.
What happens when we go to the spirit world? We become God's body. A person becomes the body of God. It is recorded in the Gospel of John and in 1 Corinthians. Do you not know that you are the temple of God? Human beings are thus the temple, the house where God can dwell. Then how can you come to resemble God? When you reach the completion stage of your portion of responsibility, God dwells within you. Oneness is created between you and God, and through that love, unity of life is achieved. Your life is assimilated into God's. When a man and a woman become husband and wife and have a family, their love brings them into unity. In the same way, the power of that love brings them into God.
Yes, if we go to the spiritual world, human beings, human body become God's body, God's holy temple. This is also same words which the mother is talking that if we become the breast family or Chombu family, we can become the branch temple. So this is really important words. Please.
Human beings have both a mind and a body. Above our mind is our spirit, and above our spirit is God. This is why we can become perfect when we become completely one with God. Though a person is only one small entity, because he or she represents all of history as well as all future relationships, he or she possesses cosmic value.
Yes, we will unite with God. We are having the cosmic value. Please.
Would you like to live eternally on earth, or would you prefer to live eternally in a substantial world of incorporeal love? You would say that you prefer to live eternally in the world that has become the substance of incorporeal love. So when God tells you that he wants to show you the spirit world, would you be able to follow him with your physical body? That is why you need a spirit. This is not a delusion, but a fact. If we assume that God exists as the center of the invisible mind and that he requires an object partner, wouldn't he wish to take human beings with him, show them every part of the eternal ideal realm he created, and give them all of it?
Yes. Many of us or we don't understand clearly the existence of spiritual world or could not experience clearly about the spiritual world. That's why people are afraid to be die. And some people are having the desire to live on this earth eternally. But what's the principle? What's the real life? God already had prepared a special, a beautiful, or eternal world. And ideally, the person will, if going to that eternal world will be the eternal happiness. And this become the God's happiness. So how to understand, how to recognize this is important issue. Please.
We can see the incorporeal body through our spiritual eyes. In the center of that incorporeal world is the spirit, and that part corresponds to the human mind. That is the place where you can meet with God happily, without other people learning about what you are doing. If God and you love each other in such a place, no one can take that love away from you. That place is the final destination of vertical love and the starting point of horizontal love.
Yes, this is also the deep words. I will read this paragraph. We can see the incorporeal body through our spiritual eyes. In the center of that incorporeal body is the spirit, and that part corresponds to the human mind. That is a place where you can meet with God happily without other people learning about what you are doing. If God and you love each other in such a place, no one can take that love away from you. That place is the final destination of vertical love and the starting point of horizontal love. So inside of our self, there is special place where only you and God can meet each other and also talk each other. God is Almighty God. God is existing as the parents of all humanity. But when God will meet with us or deal with us, this relationship is the unique and a kind of the one-on-one relationship. So when God will meet you, God is thinking, you are only the child. You are only the existence in front of God. So when we understand those heart of God, heart of heavenly parent toward you, towards us, then our heartistic connection become more deeper and deeper, and we could experience love of God, and we can give the happiness to God directly. So how we can recognize this special point or special place, then we can have a beautiful, joyful moment with our Heavenly Parent. We should recognize God's love, but in the same time, we should love God more. We should return the happiness to God more and more. Please.
The spirit mind is the union of mind and body. The mind and spirit. And it moves toward a single goal. As such, with our conscience centered upon God, it can motivate us to achieve ideal personhood based on the unity of our spirit and flesh. Our conclusion can only be that if we did not have a spirit mind, we would be unable to search for the origin that can connect us to the spirit world and true love. When the spirit mind comes into us, our body rejoices and everything follows it. The two become one automatically. Until now, our biggest problem has been the separation of our mind and body. When God's spiritual power comes into us as the origin of our spirit mind, our mind and body become one naturally. Unless a revolution occurs at this fundamental level, unless we discover the origin that can govern everything that comes from the root, we have no path to the ideal. Only through a strong motivation can results come.
Yes, the spirit mind will be the key role in our life. We didn't know this point. If this will be connected strongly, then automatically we can be united with God. Please.
The mind is vertical and the body horizontal. The mind is the vertical I, and the body is the horizontal I. There are the two. The vertical I is the mind, and the horizontal I is the body. Their structure is the same. Everything in creation shares this. If one goes up, another comes down. Consider the example of a tree. The roots absorb nutrients and the leaves also produce nutrients. The leaves receive sunlight and their chlorophyll creates and supplies nutrients. The roots also absorb nutrients from the ground. These nutrients interact with each other. In principal terms, they are the vitality element and the life element. Ever giving and receiving in a relationship similar to that of mind and body.
Yes, likewise, there are two myself, the vertical I and horizontal I. So this is the final slide, please.
When we eat spiritual food, when you are hungry, which should taste better, physical food or spiritual food? To survive and stand on God's side, you should enjoy the taste of spiritual food more than physical food. The flavor of a life centered on spiritual power should far excel that of a life based on physical might.
Yes, thank you. Spiritual food and physical food. Which food do you like? Are you eating every day both food? If we skip one physical food, already this is a serious problem. But how many spiritual food are you fasting? Are you eating every day or are you doing the spiritual food fasting? So this spiritual food is important for our body and our life. So we have to prepare well and we have to eat well the spiritual food. So today we're talking about the spiritual and physical body, the dual structures of human beings. So when we listen about True Parents' word, this really giving the energy or become the excitement. Our lifetime is even one time, but special time period. And God's love is actually always in front of us, together with us. Depends we will recognize or not. Then our spiritual body, our life will be totally changed. Our mother is hardworking on the physical world, and our father is working hardly from the spiritual world. Let's totally unite, connect well, and fulfill our mission and role on this earth. So every day, how about your health is okay? The physical health? Now we came to Melbourne. Looks like Melbourne is really cold. One day become the 40 degree, but here morning is I think 16 degree or like this. So every day difficult weather, difficult situation. I think island nation also maybe changing every time. So please keep your health and prepare yourself and let's welcome the entrance ceremony. Let's have a great time on this earth. So thank you for joining today's morning K. Have a good day. 감사합니다.
Samnida, thank you very much, Rev Yutaka, for sharing with us and helping us begin the day together, focused on our Heavenly Parent and True Parents. And this topic about mind and body, it's always an ongoing topic because we have a mind and body because God created us with this dual structure. Sometimes I think, why did God bother doing a dual structure? Why not just make it one already, and then we just don't have to worry about it. But the dual structure is actually the point of our responsibility. I mean, by using our mind and body in harmony, we actually fulfill our responsibility to return love. So I realized, don't worry about your mind and body unity. Don't dwell on it. I mean, up in Queensland when I was there, the people may remember Paul and Michiko Saver, and Michiko would always ask me, almost every time she saw me, she would always ask me, how do you get mind and body unity? And I would think of Father's words and say something, and then she'd write it down and go off, and then the next day she'd come and say it again. And in the end, I just said, look, you don't need to dwell on mind and body unity. All you have to focus on is, really connecting to God's love. And because when you have God's love, then you automatically become one. And then, so she changed to asking questions about mind and body unity. She started asking about, well, how do you get God's love? Uh, and I said, well, you just love others. Don't worry about, getting or receiving. Just focus on how you can love someone, and then by absorbing yourself in giving love to others, then you start to receive God's love. It's like a glass. If you're always waiting for the glass to be filled up, it'll just fill up and spill over, and it just looks the same. It doesn't look any changed. But if you empty it, you drink it, or you empty it, you use it, then there's space to fill up again. So you sense this movement and connection. But if it doesn't move, then everything looks the same and looks like you're not going anywhere. But we really need to focus on that resonance, getting that love. When God, really love comes to us, then we become one. But to maintain it, we just got to continue to give love. So I said, don't worry about mind and body unity. That's going to happen anyway. The focus is love, because God is love. So yes, thank you. And I can see, Margaret, you have your hand up. Go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah, I have a thank you very much, Reverend Yamada. I really love this spirit world stuff. And I have a question. In the first slide, it says the mind, including the spirit, and the conscience also has 5 senses. Do you have the original Korean text for that? I'd like to hear that more explanation on that.
You mean that part, the physical 5 senses and spiritual 5 senses?
Yeah, before that, it was this in the first slide, right? The mind, including the spirit and the conscience, also has 5 senses. Anyway, if you don't have time to find it now, it's okay. You can send it to me later. But I want to see the original text from Father's Korean words of an explanation on that, because it has a mind, it has a spirit, and it has a conscience. Yeah, it's a remarkable 5 senses, he says. I mean, I understood it to be 5 spiritual senses in the spirit mind, but now in that it talks about the conscience. And to me, it's a marvelous idea in terms of the 4 realms of heart. Receiving God's heart, receiving God's love has to start in these 4 realms of heart. And now it makes sense with the conscience. Parents have to teach the conscience of God's love. That was the inspiration that came as a result of listening to that. And it's also a really exciting for me this morning to hear these words, because yesterday I had a near-death experience. And because I had a cold last week and it affected my lungs and I couldn't breathe yesterday. So Tim took me to ER, to emergency. And fortunately, the doctor at hand quickly gave me oxygen and different things. And so I was revived. So to me, listening to these words from Father this morning is so exciting and so lifting of what is important. You talk about spiritual fasting and physical fasting. It's so true. We need to get resonance, as you said, with True Mother's words, which is wonderful to hear this morning. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Margaret. Well, I hope you're feeling much better.
Amazing medicines we have now in this modern world. I was really grateful for a young medical Palawan doctor who was schooled in Fiji, knew exactly what to do. So I was really grateful. Want to witness to him now.
Thank you. Yeah.
That's the first page, right, Miss Margaret? I think.
The first one, number 1.
Number 1, right?
The mind, the spirit, and the conscience have 5 senses.
Okay, maybe let's read. I got the Korean. So this slide, right? I think.
Yes.
And how he's explaining about mind and spirit and conscience.
Have 5 senses.
This is the original one in Korean. The 2 their characteristics. 인간은 이중 구조로 되어 있습니다. Human beings is existing as a dual characteristics. 영과 육, 마음과 몸의 영 is spirit and 육 is physical. And 마음 is mind and 몸 is also body. These dual characteristics. Anyway, how to unite and 인간에게는 오간이 있습니다. Human beings has the 5 senses. 마음에도 용인체도 양심에도 오간이 있습니다. I think this part. So Father is talking. 인간에게는 오간이 있습니다. Human beings has the 5 senses and 마음, heart, spiritual body, and also conscience. So heart has also the 5 senses. Spiritual body has the 5 senses, and conscience has the 5 senses. And external 5 senses and the spiritual 5 senses. Internal 5 senses and external 5 senses. I think maybe almost similar. Looks like. So.
Well, the heart was not mentioned.
Oh,
This
really?
is good. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
In the English translation, it didn't mention the heart.
Oh, I see. Heart and spiritual body and conscience. So, having the spiritual, having the 5 senses.
5 senses. See, there's no word heart in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That makes a lot of difference, actually. It makes sense, to have the heart, because that's the center of the spirit and motivates the conscience.
Maybe in this English, they are talking about the mind, because word is heart, but translating, sometimes they translated in as the mind or as the heart. So maybe but totally different feeling, right? Heart and mind and That's
the
why.
center of the conscience is the heart. We teach in Divine Principle. So it makes sense to dwell on the heart, because the mind is very vague. in terms of what kind of mind are you
maybe.
talking about? And you translate it into other languages. I have the hardest time translating the mind in Palawan language, but the heart makes sense to people because
Oh,
they relate on the artistic level, not mine because they're not academics and they don't think in that level. Anyway, that's my experience. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's really not easy. Translation. Maum and body, or heart, sometimes mind. I think Mrs. Margaret's answer is more clear. Sometimes mind is vague, right? And
Very
really,
vague.
heart is maybe more exact, I
Mm.
think. Maybe that's some
Well,
explanation.
like for a longest time, unite mind and body, mind and body. And I'm thinking, how do you get the mind to unite? But the heart moving the conscience makes sense.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm.
to me, anyway. So thank you for that. That is really profound
Yeah.
from Father's point of view.
Mm. Yeah, I agree too. It makes a big difference, focusing on the heart. Yeah. So if there's anyone else wants to make a comment? Yes, Chris, go ahead.
I'll just add a little bit. My experience when I first joined the movement, and when Father just talks about unite your mind and body, and we just think of it all in one whole, but actually, in reality, in your life of faith, it happens in pieces. There's a lot of sections to our character, and I think in the early days, I mean, Father's made statements like people who join after this point in the Providence, he said many years ago, will never be on the same level as the people who joined before, meaning that they needed a certain level of spiritual development and foundation. And I realized that some parts of our character are very close to being perfected, some small part that we hinge on, that God grabs us with. And then he goes through the process of making us perfect each little section of our character in stages. So I thought that statement, how did it go? It sort of said the completion of the vertical experience is the beginning of the horizontal foundation. Your horizontal, I forget the exact words. And I thought that was interesting because obviously that can't be applied to our whole life. It has to happen in stages. We have an experience with God. He spoke about going to a place where you and God have an experience that no one else can have, that it's yours exclusively, uniquely. No one else knows about it. And they're the experiences that we take out and become, that we expand out horizontally. It happens in lots and lots of stages every time we have this experience. So I just wanted to make the point. We often think, well, I go through spiritual life and I've got to perfect all this all at once, but it happens gradually. Maybe that's obvious to people, but anyway, that's all. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. Thank you, everyone. It's time now for us to offer our unison prayers. So I'll just bring up the screen. Oops. Okay, let's pray together. Jew, Jew, Jew. Thank you, everyone. Thank you again, Rev Yutaka, for sharing, and I hope everyone has a great day, and see you all again tomorrow.